Hi, welcome back to the Mike Gormley Show. We were just listening to some Bob Dylan music because that's who we're talking about today with our guest Ira Ingber, who goes back with Mr. Dylan some 40 years off and on. And we just listened on the way back in. Of course, anybody probably knows anyway, but it's Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. It's what we heard on the way back in. And so we were talking to Ira about his getting together with Bob Dylan back in the day and how it all came about. And in there was mentioned more recent recordings done. Um, it Have you heard from him lately? Oh, wait, you know what? Explain how you heard from him going back in after how many years of not
It
hearing
had
from
been 30, it had been a long time, 30 some odd, whatever it was. I think we had maybe one or two encounters, but it was just before COVID, or maybe it had already started. And I got a call. His his office said, I have Bob Dylan on the line. Will you take the call or something? Yeah. Hey, Bob, how's it going? And he started talking pretty much as if we were continuing a conversation that we had 10 minutes earlier. So as I was saying, you know,
him?
and we went on for about 45 minutes talking about all kinds of things. Um,
All this time you weren't sure why he was calling, right?
I wasn't sure at all until maybe about halfway through. No, it had to be COVID because no, it was not COVID, that one. There was another one after that, another long conversation. This was about he wanted to know, it was a Mink DeVille song, and he wanted to know what tuning was used for the slide guitar. So they sent me or he pointed it to me, and I said, "Oh, that sounds like a G tuning with a capo on it." So now it's playing an A. He said, "Well, I thought you would know that." Now, why he thought I would know that after 30 some odd years, when he could find a million other guys who would also know the answer, I have no idea. I'll never know. But that's him. So, but then in the second call, which was another long one, he mentioned that he was going to be doing a Zoom type thing. And I'm sure he had no idea and may still not know what Zoom even is, but that he was going to do a Zoom concert, and that was was kind of considering what kind of songs to do, how to do it. And I don't know if he wanted my opinion or something, but I said, well, as it turns out, the night before, I had just done a Zoom fundraiser for this little club that we play in called Ireland's 32 out in the valley. They were hurting from COVID shutdown. And so we were doing fundraisers, and they were on Zoom. And I said, for someone who's spent his entire life reading the room as you have, Bob, it's the most disembodied thing you'll ever do. And he says, disembodied, that's a good word for it. I said, it's the perfect word because you're playing to no one. You are playing into a pillow. So I think he was really struck by that because I don't know what he expected in terms of how a Zoom audience is set up. Maybe it would be a small room or whatever. But I said, no, no, you're in a room by yourself or whoever is playing with you. I said, you can't play with other people on Zoom because of the latency of the signal. So it's everybody has to be together. And I said, and the audio quality is not all that wonderful. So we talked about that for a while. We talked about songs that he might want to consider. And that was pretty much it. It was kind of an exploratory call about how to move forward with this thing that he was thinking that's the next thing he's going to do. And I didn't hear from him for a bit. And then 3 months, 2 months, I forgot, some time went by, and I get a call or a text message from the person who runs his office sending me a recording of a song. It wasn't a song. It was just a jam of him playing that was recorded on an iPhone. And they said, Bob wants to know if you wanted to add some guitars to this. Well, I was very flattered. So I put it into my studio and started messing around. Now, the problem with that one was The guitar was really out of tune with itself and out of tune to concert pitch. So it wasn't even, it was nowhere, but it had a vibe for it. You know, there was something going on. I could see he was interested in some part of this thing. So I put some stuff on it and sent it right back. I think next day or something. I get the message, oh, Bob really likes the end part you did. Okay, good. And then there was again silence. And I thought, okay, well, that's how it started. That's how it ended. And about a month after that, I get a call from the office saying, Bob wants to know if you can come in tomorrow. It was a nighttime call, as a matter of fact. Can you come in tomorrow morning? And I said, yeah, what? Sure. Come in there. And I fully expected it was going to be Bob and me working on this piece of music that he had sent me. Instead, I get there and there's all these musicians there. There's T-Bone, there's Don Was. Again, I'm not mentioning anybody who hasn't already been mentioned, so it's all public knowledge. It's all on Wikipedia, as a matter of fact. Uh, and I was told to set up over there and say hello to Bob. How good to see you. And I hadn't seen him at that point. We'd only been talking. Nice to see you. It's great to da da da. We set up in a little circle, all of us fairly close to each other, and we started playing songs of his. Had no idea what it was all about, and then slowly the concept was explained, or I started to figure out what it was, and we were re-recording, reinterpreting, better word, some of the great songs that he was going to do as part of this Zoom thing. And I'm drawing a blank on what the name is. It's a Live Nation offshoot that does these.
I don't know. No word.
Yeah. So that took the better part of about 3 weeks, daily work,
So
Monday to
you're recording
yeah.
in your mind. Are you recording for this Zoom thing or recording for an album, or you knew it might be both, or what?
Well, we were recording, a bunch of equipment was brought into this room. Now that I can't divulge because that was never revealed where it was.
Mhm.
I can say it's in Santa Monica. It was an undisclosed location in Santa Monica. But a
Okay.
bunch of equipment was brought in. Some people erroneously have said, oh, it was recorded Village. It was not recorded Village. I can say that. And we figured out at the end, we had an album. He kept saying, well, how much time do we have? He would ask Don. Well, we were at, 30 minutes, whatever. Well, that's enough. We have enough now. He kept saying, we have enough songs. And it sounded great. He sounded amazing. His
Mm.
voice was just so expressive and he was very much in with us. He wasn't the leader of the band. He was the singer directing traffic, but when we were playing together, we were playing as a group and it was a wonderful no drums because the room was very echoey, so it was very quiet. We played very quietly. He sang without any kind of, we could hear him singing without any kind of amplification. It was that quiet. And so when it was done, it was all very celebratory. And then we were told it was going to be, he was going to set up a video. They were going to film a video of these recordings with other people too. As it turned out, they were lip syncing to us. And I don't want to talk much more about that because that's mostly public knowledge, but it's not completely. But what the world saw from the Shadow Kingdom videos was a group of people brought in to lip sync our parts. That is well known.
And that was upsetting, or
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't upsetting that they did it because again, Bob didn't want cameras as we're recording,
mhm.
and I respect that. What was upsetting that when the credits rolled on this video, we were not included. He called people the players as if they were the actors. They got credit. And I felt bad for them because they didn't play. It was clear they weren't playing. They couldn't mime these parts. They were very random at times.
Mhm.
It was upsetting, yeah, because as I said earlier, musicians, actors, every creative person lives by their credits. It's our lifeblood. And I think that when we are recognized for our work, it's only because people know about it. And that's the problem with a lot of recordings online now, that who's playing, who's producing, who's engineering.
Mhm. Well, he is secretive at times or surprising at times, and it's been that way. The stories he would tell in the early days in his press conferences, there were just a lot of imagination. There was a
Yeah,
lot.
it's meant to be disruptive and secretive, confounding,
Mhm,
um, to create more doubts than certainties.
mhm,
Because I think he really he knows how to use that stuff, and he knows how to maximize its effort to help him.
uh-huh.
It's really quite something, that oh, excuse me one second, I have another cat
But we're
problem.
going to break away now anyway
Okay, taking a break.
commercial. Um, this is the Mike Gormley Show. We'll be back in a minute as soon as the cat's taken care of.
That is taken care of. Compressed air works every time.